Hi, and welcome to another episode of Conversation with a Chef. I'm Jo Ritty, and I love sharing with you the conversations I get to have with talented and passionate chefs. It's the backstory, if you will, to the food they're putting up. I begin today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, traditional custodians of the unceded land where this conversation takes place, and I pay my respects to any First Nations people listening today. Sincero in Malvern is the second restaurant from chef Mirco Speri and the team behind Buono in Parkdale. While Buono captures the easy warmth of a bayside trattoria, Sincero brings a quieter confidence to Glenferrie Road. Open since April 2024, it's already known for what Mirco calls Italian my way. Familiar flavours, local produce and the occasional twist, like seaweed linguine with Moreton Bay bugs and blood orange jelly. Mirco has spent 3 decades cooking around the world, from Michelin-starred kitchens in Europe to Melbourne's evolving dining scene. At Sincero, that experience shows in food that feels both grounded and instinctive. He's not chasing trends or nostalgia, he's cooking with sincerity, curiosity, and the kind of calm assurance that only comes from doing something you truly love. Hi Mirco, it's lovely to have you on the podcast.
Nice to meet you, Jo. Good to be here.
Yeah. So we're in Sincero, which is on Glenferrie Road. What is the suburb that we're in? Changes. Malvern, yeah. Changes so often along Glenferrie Road, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Almost right on the corner. So
on the corner of High Street,
yeah. Busy corner. Yeah.
Been here for just over a year and a half now.
That's right. How's it been going?
Oh, it's been a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's been at the beginning of it, we're quite busy, but we obviously find it hard to find a bit of a structure and system with staff. But obviously in the past 6 months, it's been a bit very inconsistent on a way. Then you get really good week, a really okay week, some bad weeks. It's just like no, but I think it's probably got to do with a bit of the economy, the area, and as well the way that people go out dining change as well.
That's right.
So it's just the people. It's okay, but it's been a bit difficult, like to just keep your toe.
And how does that compare to the first restaurant?
The first restaurant, that one is 5 years. Then they open it up, and that one is a completely different area. It's down the bayside, Parkdale.
Okay.
And we opened that one just after COVID.
Okay.
And actually, like, it was pretty good at the beginning of it, because obviously there's the 3 owners and me working in it, so the wage was quite low. And we did a bit of takeaway and stuff like that. But then when everything reopened up, all the people that live in that area were like busy pumping.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And but that one is doing a little bit. Obviously it's 5 years. Then there is a bit. And it's a different area.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, you're surrounded by other places here, so I guess there's always competition and so on as well.
There's a little bit of competition, yes. It's amazing how, from Glenferrie Road to High Street, the clientele and the people then actually, like, if you go down the block here, there's a lot of boutique, a lot of really expensive shops and stuff like that. When this is a bit more casual, I would say, Glenferrie Road, of this size. But it's obviously a different area, yeah. But there's a market for the restaurant that we go right here. It's just like I think it's just obviously take time, like a restaurant. You need to give it at least a couple of years to actually see some results at the end of it, some like consistency.
Yeah. And I read that Sincero is based around traditional, authentic Italian food, but with a forward focus. What does that mean?
So I call it like Italian my way.
Yeah, nice.
It's like the classic flavor. They're there, but we just twist it on the way that we present them and create them in the place. For example, one of our signature dish is seaweed spaghetti. So what we do, we dehydrate seaweed, and there's actually seaweed in the pasta. And then we serve them with roast fennel and Moreton Bay bugs. Then it's obviously a crustacean from Australia, quite popular. And we put the blood orange jelly. So like fennel and orange is a classic combination.
Yes.
if you go on, salads or in Sicily especially, and but we just twist it a little. You know what I mean? We're using obviously Australian seaweed. We're using Australian seafood. Then it's the bugs. But so it's a pasta dish. It's got the Italian flavour, but it's different.
So that's not something you'd see in Italy, do you think?
Oh no, I never see it around, to be honest. I just came up with it, like, I don't know, we just talk and try, and and we decide to run it as a special on the other restaurant for a bit, and then when we open this one, we twist it, and we actually put it on the menu. And it's been on the menu, now it's on the special menu, but it's been on the menu since we opened.
Yeah. So would you describe it as fine dining, or is it, I mean, it's white table.
I don't know if you, like, fine dining is an interesting word, because I think depends the way then you look at it. So like in Melbourne, to my opinion, and I work overseas as well, I like fine dining restaurant, you can't name in one end. There's not many.
Yes.
Right? Because they're more like they might look, the looking of it looks then like fine dining, or with the linen or no linen or whatever, and they're all dressed up nicely. The service is fantastic, but it's quite casual compared to like places overseas, when like there's a bit more upper market. And I would call it, I don't know, like the other restaurant is more casual. It doesn't have linen, for example, but I don't think linen on the table got to do with fine dining. You know what I mean? Because if you look at Entrecot, for example, the one we just talked before,
that's right.
And the food that they do is pretty casual. It's like a bistro, right? So it's not fine dining. When you got a steaks and chips, that's not fine dining. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Is or even like Francois in South Yarra, they got linen. They're all dressed up and nice and beautiful. Looks fine dining, but the food is pretty like good. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's a bistro food.
Right. Oh, I see. Okay. This is an old building.
I'm positive that it's pretty old, because it's been renovated. We've redone the whole thing. The kitchen was actually already there, because there was a restaurant before. Yeah?
Okay. It feels Italian, though, to me. It feels like old school Italian.
It does have a little bit of a feeling. We did a kind of a really good job with the interior designer.
Yeah.
We got a little room upstairs for like 8 to 10 people, like a private dining, and there's a preparation kitchen as well upstairs.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we were talking before too that you've got some events coming up, and they are celebrating regional food. But in general, is the menu crosses all of Italy? The a la carte menu, yes, there's a bit of the classic, some like twisted a little bit. So we got a bolognese, for example, on the menu now. Then we put them on because everyone was asking for it. So I'm glad we end up to put it on. That one is actually like a classic. And but yeah, it's a bit all over, like because obviously there's 20 regions in Italy. There's a lot of different food, and so we're using a lot of fresh egg pasta that is from Emilia Romagna, but sometimes we're doing special with like semolina pasta that is more from south of Italy. We got a lot of fish dishes on the menu, but we got a lot of less like long stew and braised as well. Then it's like north and south. There's a bit of everything, yeah. Obviously, as you mentioned before, when we're doing this regional night, we're doing obviously 4 dishes from their region with 4 matches wine. And it's quite interesting because we started at the other restaurant doing it, and we actually, from the second one, we had to start to do 2 nights in a row because we booked out straight away. Yeah.
And they go really well, So like tomorrow, the day after, we go this Piemonte night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And so what, is it a secret what the food is?
No. What do we have? We have vitello tonnato.
Oh, yum.
So like when we do original, it's classic. There's no like twisting on everything. It's just the classic dishes from their region for you to actually experience what actually real food is from their region. Then we're doing, so we got vitello tonnato to start with. We go agnolotti di magro. Then the magros mean skinny, but on a way they call it because it's a vegetarian filling. Okay. So there's no meat.
Yeah.
There's no protein. and there's a brasato al barolo with soft polenta, and the dessert is a bonnet. Then is like a custard cooked in bain-marie with amaretti biscuit and caramel. It's very rich, but very, very tasty.
Wow, sounds amazing. And are you sold out both nights?
We got a few spots for tomorrow night, but Wednesday we booked out. Yeah, we feel full booked out.
So great, isn't it? I think people do love that idea of really discovering a region and going into it in depth and having those cosy traditional dishes. It's interesting, isn't it?
It's interesting because as well in our size, in our behalf, like as a chef and as the manager, then he's obviously mentioned the wine. We actually discovered a lot of new little things that we didn't know. For example, 2 weeks ago at the other restaurant, we did the Val d'Aosta night. Then it's a little region up north near France, in Italy. And it was fascinating how when we started to actually come up with the menu, how we discovered dishes that we didn't even know. And we try them, we test them, and then they work, and we get the wine. So we try to do this every couple of months.
Yeah.
Right? And so we do one down there, and a month later we do one here. So every month we go one, but in the two restaurants, does it make sense? And we bounce that way. Yeah.
So it's fun for you as well. So how do you find out about those things? Do you look at books or you look at online?
Books and online and there's obviously as well a lot of the food that we use and we done that come from certain regions that we know already.
Yes.
But some other we just need to research because obviously some of the region in Italy there's the most famous one, the popular food like Tuscany, Sicily, Sardinia, Emilia Romagna, they're all the one know. But when you start to go, for example, Basilicata or Abruzzo or Val d'Aosta or Friuli, there's a little bit more research to be done because it's something that you don't get to know the food unless you come from that region.
Yes.
But as Italian, we obviously we research and we're doing as much research as possible to find out what's coming from their region and as well in the wine as well. It's quite interesting.
I find that really fascinating because when I spoke to Giorgio from That's Amore Cheese, and he's become famous for his burrata, but he said when he first moved to Australia that he had never even heard of burrata because it's not from his region, and I was surprised about that. But then that must be, there must be those regional specialties, especially before everything's so widespread now, and we talk about all those things online and whatnot, but. Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. So it's good to hear you say that as well.
Yeah, he's I know. I know Giorgio for many years. I know since he pretty much came here. It was very small.
Yeah.
But yeah, right. Burrata is obviously mozzarella stuff is from Campania, but burrata I think is from Puglia.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, and he's from further south, I think. So yeah, he hadn't come across it when he was in Italy, which is fascinating. So then when you're having these kind of twists and those ideas, obviously you talked about fennel and orange going together and then you started thinking about what you could do with that. Are you someone that has lots of notebooks? When you're having your ideas, do you...
I write down everything.
Yeah, right.
Because my brain is like a sieve. And there's a lot of things going on in it, but certain things... When they cross my mind, I have to write them down or I forget. It could be maybe when we do preparation, or could be when I read a book, or could be if I watch something on YouTube or a food channel, then they might doing something and I think about something else and so I got a little notebook then bring with me or I put them on my phone. And then later on we try them,
Yes.
or we twist them, or because the beauty of this job is exactly that. There is you can come up with recipes. You don't have to follow all the time recipe. Apart pastry, obviously, that is different.
Yes.
Because there is chemistry. You can't, just put them all together and put them in the oven. There has to be obviously dosage, but like in certain recipe that you're doing or puree or combination or stuff, you can always twist them along the way. And if it doesn't work, you start again. You know, but obviously you're gonna have to give it a go.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, notes everywhere for me, everywhere on my phone, on my little book, or even in the car.
Wow. Okay. Fascinating.
Because I can't remember them.
Yeah.
Because they come up to me like that, and then boom, gone.
Well, yeah, that's right. I often have ideas as I'm drifting off to sleep, and I always think, oh, I'll definitely remember this tomorrow, and then I definitely do not remember it. I need to have notebooks too. And how often do you change the menu?
We change the special. A la carte menu is every season, so 4 times a year. There's certain dishes that we keep them on all the time. So we always got a fish on, we always got steaks on, but we might change the garnish. Now we got a linguine on the menu. We were on the age yesterday with it. And then that one is something that I don't think we're never going to change it again because we just sell too many.
Yeah.
But yeah, every 3 months, depending the season, obviously. And then the special, then we run separate from a la carte. We change them every couple of weeks because we only operate 5 days a week.
Right.
We close Sunday, Monday. So we do a meat special, we do the fish special, we do a pasta special, we do an entree special, we go to oyster special. Then it's on the menu, but they change every couple of weeks. When the a la carte is every 3 months.
Yeah.
You know, it's spring, summer, autumn, and winter. So, yeah.
And I saw you've got an express lunch. Is that popular?
It's a very drawing card, that one.
Yes.
Because a lot of people, it's a good value.
Yeah.
But the really tricky part of it is when customers sit down and have the $50 menu with a glass of wine, they always have a second glass of wine, and they might have desserts after it.
Oh, yes.
So they always end up to spend a little bit more than the $50.
Yes.
Right? But it's a good value because you get 2 courses and a glass of wine.
Yeah, that's right. And that's their choice too.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they're having a good time.
There's a fixed entree. Normally we run always like a bruschetta for lunch, and we just change topping.
Yeah.
Because we find out you sell a lot. Bruschetta, people know what they're expecting. Whatever you can put on it, it's like a pizza. They like it. They eat it. Can be tomato, can be pumpkin, can be whatever. And then you got a choice of pasta, fish, and meat, and you get a glass of wine. So it's pretty good counting. Then if you go in a bar and have a glass of wine, it's $16, $17 just for the wine.
That's right.
And then you get an entree and a main with it for $50. So it's pretty good.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, and we sell a lot.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I can, come down here.
Only Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
We do lunches. So,
yeah, that's good. Oh, yeah, nice. Great. And how does it? How do you find the produce here? I spoke to another Italian chef who I won't name, and he said that he laments the produce here, that you have to do a lot to it to bring out the flavours, and that Italian produce is much better.
You can't compare it.
Okay.
Okay, because you're in a different country, there's different land. They're not been growing vegetable and fruit in Australia as long as it's been growing in Europe. I'm not saying just Italy, right?
True.
Right, and obviously the way then they're growing and the land, the nutrition and the vegetable get from the land, you can't compare it. It's completely different. There's different atmosphere. The microclimate is in Italy, in the Mediterranean Sea. There's nowhere in the world. So you can't compare the vegetable. But there's an awesome vegetable here as well that you can't find in Italy, for example. And there's a lot of beautiful produce when it's coming down to seafood, especially, that we can't get them over there, So yes, I mean, personally, Italian food is not about get the asparagus from Bassano in Italy and fly them over here 24 hours and use them. It's about using good produce, then they are where you are. So I'm using Moreton Bay bags because they are from me. I'm using asparagus in the season because they're from Victoria. I'm using the Spat Sister potato because they're only from up the road. and he's using local produce and treat them simply. And there's Italian food for me. I'm thinking, you know what I mean? There's me personally. It's not using Italian produce from Italy.
No.
It's using good produce. Then you go around there, and yes, answering your question, they are different. The vegetable, of course, they are, because obviously it's different climate, it's different land, it's different. Everything is different.
Yeah.
So they obviously taste different.
That's right. And I mean, you know, I think tomatoes is such a prime example. I feel like when I eat tomatoes in restaurants, they're really delicious, but the tomatoes you buy from the supermarket don't really have any flavour. And someone was saying to me the other day that, you know, tomatoes really need many hours of sunshine, and we don't have many hours of sunshine. I think there's a much smaller window in Victoria where there's
anywhere else,
lots of sun, you know.
Yeah, and as well I think so with a vegetable, because obviously demand the transportation, a lot of vegetable and fruit they get picked before they're actually ready to eat, because obviously for shelf life as well. So that's why, you know, like as you say, when you buy it from the supermarket, or you got the tomato in the garden, then you pick it, then it's ripe and you eat it, it's obviously going to taste different.
That's right.
Because the vegetable, it can be a piece of fruit or a vegetable, he grow and is ripe on the tree where he born naturally. Yeah?
Yes.
And it's obviously going to taste better than pick it when it's almost still green a little bit and they ripe it in trade in the cold room, because obviously there's transportation, there's days to move them, pack them and all that.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
And that is in anything.
Yeah.
Could be vegetable, fruit.
True.
In anything, yeah.
That's right.
They taste different, of course.
Yeah. I mean, the joy that you get, as you say, when you have picked a tomato off your own vine, or an apricot in season, those kinds of things. It's such a, that's the real joy of eating food, I think. But you know, it's tricky when you're in a city.
It is. It's tricky. Yeah, it's tricky because obviously you can't do that. Obviously, you can do it in a small version. You can grow your little herbs, so you can still have a plant of tomato on the balcony of the apartment. You know, like it can be done, obviously, but you're limited.
That's right. Yeah.
I remember when I was little, my nonna, she had the garden, not very big, but everything that we ate, and we picked it out of the garden.
Yeah, amazing.
It's only like 3 or 4 of us eating, because she had a house completely separate from my mum and dad. And when I was tiny, I'm talking about when I was 5, 6, and I was going up there to help her, like to doing things. And you know, she got the cauliflower, she got the eggplant, and the tomato, the salad, the lettuce.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Delicious. Yeah. Now, speaking of you as a child, I read somewhere that you are one of those chefs that always knew from a young age that you wanted to be a chef. Is that true? Is that true?
True story. I cut long story short. My mum, she's an awesome cook. Very basic, not very experimental, but she very good. She used to be, but now she's a bit older, so she doesn't cook as much anymore. And my dad, so she was the one that she was making the things. And my dad, he used to have a panobile shop. And his best friend, he used to be the head of the vegetable and fruit market in Verona.
Oh.
Right? So towards the weekend, when stuff doesn't get sold or they go, you know, he just bringing trade of peaches. Or I remember like yesterday, sometimes he's coming home with like 2 free trade of peaches, 2 free trade of strawberry, box of cherry, whatever it is in season. And my mum, she preserved them, or you get pumpkin, we do ravioli, or cherry, we used to put them in booze, in grappa. Yeah. My brother still do that. Or peaches, we clean them, wash them, and preserve them in syrup. And that's where I think I got the passion start for me for food. You know what I mean? And then when I hit 14, and I was 14, then I finished the school in Italy. Then I chose straight away to go and do cookery school.
Yeah.
That is completely different than this is the different way than the school run. So I did 3 years of cooking. It's theoretical and practical, and then I did 2 years extra. Then it's just theoretical to like it's more technical and more like what's behind the restaurant and what's behind the hotel, how to run it and all that kind of stuff.
Wow, that's good.
And finished school in 96, 91 to 96, and then I started to do chefing full time, and I never turned back.
No,
and it's
wow.
Over 30 years now.
Wow, it's amazing. And you've worked in Michelin-star restaurants.
Yeah, when I finished school, I did a few seasons on the lake, because where I come from in Italy is a little town in the Valpolicella area. Then it's not far away from Garda Lake, big lake north of Italy. And it's obviously when I finished school in the late 90s, was still very buzzy, very busy lake with tourists, still now, but much more back then. So I did a few seasons there, and then lucky me, through a friend of mine, I got a chance to go work on a cruise ship, and for 7 months.
Wow.
And there was Central America, North America, and South America. So we turned around the whole thing. And then when I came back from there, I took a little bit of a break, and through a friend of mine that I met on the cruise ship, I went to London for 2 years to work in Stefano Cavallini restaurant. He used to call it, it's not there anymore, at the Halkin Hotel. He's the first Italian chef ever Michelin-starred in London.
Yes.
And after that, I went in France through him, and in south of France, in Cannes, for another 2 years.
Wow.
And there was Richard Neat, English chef, very good. He used to be the right hand of Rebluchon,
Okay.
Jean Rebluchon, and worked there for about 20 months as an English chef, a Michelin-star in France. That was a bit unique, if you asking me.
And that's right.
And then when I was in south of France, I met a lot of Kiwis and a lot of Aussie, a lot of them. Because most of them, what they do is they work on private boat back then. And unfortunately, the restaurant closed because they divorced, the couple. So, and then I called the board and I go like, let's just go and try Australia, see. I was still 23, 24 years of age. I was quite young. And I just got a tourist visa, come down here. And I'm still here 23 years after.
You obviously love it.
Yeah.
Was there a culture shock when you first got?
I mean, 23 years ago, you were hardly here speaking Italian in the streets. Then after, when there was the economy crash in Europe, there was a lot of Italian coming around. But back then, it was very different. Very different from Europe, very different from Italy and France and London, the food culture. There was, they were like years behind compared to the food that they used to do in Italy back then, or in France, or in London. It's just obviously new, so you couldn't. I think I couldn't find anywhere where you can eat wood-fired pizza, like when I came here in 2002.
Isn't that amazing?
Right? And mozzarella, they didn't even know what it is, I think. You couldn't find prosciutto. There was a lot of, but not just that, just the way as well people eat, or like, or the perception of what Italian, I'm talking about Italian food because I'm Italian, the perception of what back then Australia they think was Italian, but it wasn't.
Right, yes.
You know what I mean? But because obviously there's got to do with knowledge, and you just listen to people. This guy is opening a restaurant, he's Italian, he's doing these things, he's Italian, but he's not.
No.
An example is the chicken palmy. It's not an Italian thing. I never heard of it before.
No,
I mean,
that's right.
And don't get me wrong, I love it because they're great, but it's not an Italian thing.
No, yeah. I lived in the south of France for a year in the 90s, 93, 94. And I'm originally from Christchurch in New Zealand. And I just was thinking, this is so amazing. And, we don't have anything like this. And I mean, the food scene in New Zealand was not great in the 80s and 90s, and then, you know, like here, it's really taken off, thank goodness, since then. But yeah, it is interesting, especially, you know, as you say, you know, living in the south of France, the produce there was amazing. I was in a small town called Château-Renard, and they had a marché d'intérêt national, so they were shipping all these beautiful tomatoes and things off to other parts of the country and Europe. And I had a friend who worked there, so we sometimes got some things from the market as well, which was great. But yeah, so different.
Very, very.
So it's come a long way. The food
It's come a
culture,
long way, in a very good way as well.
That's right.
You know, because of we've all, as much people they complain about people that immigrant here, but you know, they bring a lot of their culture and food and more. Like actually the proper food where they come from, you know, because you know, there's not just butter chicken and rice in India. There's also, you know, for example, there's so much more, or in any country or South America, you know, South American food. South America, there's so many countries, and the food is completely different, not just from country to country, from a region of the same country.
That's
you know?
right. Yeah.
And it's fascinating because you never stop learning. That's the beautiful thing of this job as well, you know, because you never stop. Like you said before, you got this Indian guy, then he's opened up a restaurant and he wants to do South American food. There's nothing wrong with that if he's passionate about it.
Yeah, that's
like
right.
Exactly. I find it extremely fascinating.
Yeah.
You know?
So apart from that, you know, apart from the fact that you're learning all the time, you know, what else do you love about being a chef? Is it the thrill of service? Is it the creativity?
I think at the early stage was then give me the chance to travel a lot.
Yeah, and you did.
I did, yes. Then when I landed here, then I became a father, and then of course I slowed down a little bit, but as well, you know, I can't travel and go around as I used to be when I was 25 or 26, you know, and that I think is probably one of the main at the early stage. And obviously, the most important I think is that you never stop learning. And there's always a new ingredient that you can find. There can always be a new recipe that you can try, or something that you can twist, or something that you can, you know, combine with another culture in your culture and it works, or a different technique to cook something, and then you get to meet so many people.
Yes.
Like different culture, different languages, different ideas, different the way of see things, so there's always like something new in a way. It can be a person that you meet, an idea, or a new vegetable, or a new fish, or a new way, or a new technique that you never is constantly. That is, you know, your day they're not boring. You're not sitting in front of the computer. You know what I mean? Like there's always something exciting around the corner. Yeah, I think is I guess it's probably the three main reasons: traveling, meeting people, and obviously learning, see different, and know, and get to find new things all the time.
Amazing. I usually end with this question, and I've read that you really enjoy mentoring young people coming up through the ranks. So what would your advice be to a young person starting out in the industry?
My advice to any young person is to put your sleeves up and be prepared to work hard, but have a great attitude. Because the attitude is, for me personally, and not just me, and a lot of friends of mine, they're the same age or older, is a very important key factor of, and it can be front of house, back of house, kitchen, and it can be what, but it can be in any job as well, not just this, not just hospitality.
That's right.
If you go in with the right attitude and prepared to learn, you're already 50% in it. In any job, I think. In vision especially, because you spend a lot of time. I mean, I spend more time with my sous chef than my son. You know, and then you got, you know, but if you got a good attitude, I think there's my, because I prefer to open a book than is empty, and I can write in what I want, then get a book that is already written. If that makes sense, it's like metaphorically, and it's already written, but it's not written properly.
Yes.
You know, and it's very hard to fix that.
Yep.
It's like, you know, in Italy we got to say you put a sticks next to the plant when it's little so it grows straight, yeah? When it's already grow, you can't put the sticks because if the plant is bent, you can't get it back up, isn't it? The same is like in general with someone that start working in any industry. If you get to train them and they're happy to learn with a great attitude, then you're already like over halfway done. In both ways, me, then I'm training you, and you, then you're the one learning.
Yeah. That's great. I love that. I haven't heard that one about the plant, and it just it totally makes sense, doesn't it?
You know, then you always get the little, you know,
Yes.
the little, when they, if you look at it in the street as well,
Yeah.
you know, they put the little, they've always got the sticks in it. So
Exactly
they're growing.
right.
You put it when they're young, the sticks. You don't put it when they grow up and they're already like bent, you know.
I'm going to use that. That's very good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Conversation with a Chef with Mirco Speri at Sincero in Malvern. You can check out all the goodness on Instagram at Sincero Malvern. That's SINCEROMALVERN. Or better still, get down to Glenferrie Road or even Glenferrie Road, where the place actually is, and taste it all for yourself. If you'd like to hear more stories from other chefs, I'm also on Instagram at Conversation with a Chef. You can read this chat online at www.conversationwithchef.com, and of course you can follow me and subscribe and even give me a review if you so desire on Apple and Spotify podcasts. I would love it if you told a friend about my chats. It's still the best way to get these delicious stories out into the world. Once again, thanks so much for listening. Have a great day and bon appetit.